Today on Hey, We're Talking, we've got Bob and Derek, and we're talking tech.
And beer.
And blood.
Yes. Hey everybody, welcome to Hey We're Talking, and we almost were going to make it through half of another episode, but then we found out that Bob was there, so we stopped.
Yeah, Bob is here, and Bob just noticed you shaved.
I did.
What's the deal with that?
I just wanted to do something different. Derek didn't even notice. Sure.
I did, right away.
Well, thanks for noticing.
Well, that means I'm a bad person. So
It does. But Derek said because I was talking about his shirt, it says, "May the awesome be with you," or something like that. I talked about his shirt, and he was like, "This is leaving out the people on the podcast." I was like, "What?" I'm giving him a word picture. I'm explaining it.
Yeah.
if they can't see it, and they're driving, you're like, imagine the shirt, so they're like trying to. So they're driving and they're shutting their eyes. They're trying to
not
picture.
shutting their eyes.
If they really want to engage in the experience, then they're shutting their eyes and trying to imagine.
Well, then they're stupid and they're gonna die, and they'll be on that.
Yeah.
What is that list called? Darwin Awards. They were listening to a podcast and closed their eyes when the guy talked about painting a word picture.
Well,
and
look,
they died.
this is your fault for painting such a sumptuous picture of a great shirt. They want to experience that. And
Listen, I'm
going
to talk about Bob's right now. I'm going to explain to everybody what Bob's looks like. It says Elder Brewing Company, and it's in Joliet, Illinois, and it's a tree. He's got like an olive khaki, green khaki shirt.
Yep.
And then it's got this tree on it, and the tree has a face. But the tree it looks bare, but at the same time, the leaves on it almost look like hops.
All right, slow down.
I'm
trying to picture it, so slow down.
You closed your eyes, though. You crashed. You're dead.
Yeah, you were on a unicycle going across the high wire, listening to Hey We're Talking. You closed your eyes, fell into a ravine.
You fell off to your death, man. Into the Niagara Falls. You went right over the edge.
I apologize to the unicycling community who enjoy Hey We're Talking.
What are those people that go over the Niagara Falls in a barrel? What are they thinking?
Do they do that anymore? Is that still a thing?
I think I've heard of people doing it but I mean, I know that was kind of old timey thing to do, but why do people do that?
A daredevil, adrenaline jump.
Yeah, for the thrill, but I think you'd probably wind up in jail nowadays if you tried doing anything.
There was like some guy who did the reason I thought of that is there was some guy that in the last 5 years or so did the tightrope across Niagara Falls without the little bar too. He just walked across, and he didn't fall.
There's somebody who's still has an act that does that, and I think he does it blindfolded too.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, which is just crazy.
Yeah, I don't think I want to fall over Niagara Falls like that. It seems like it would be a bad deal.
Why wouldn't you want to fall? I mean, falls is in the name.
Right.
There's a bunch of rocks at the bottom that would crush your skull.
Yeah, but they've been polished out and smoothed out from all the running water.
They're jagged.
Yeah, so they're all soft like tomatoes. So don't worry about it. You won't get hurt.
It's called erosion, Scott.
I know.
You ever science ever?
I have scienced before, but not a lot. Yeah, so don't go over Niagara Falls. All right, so here we are again. The three amigos are back. You got Bob and Derek. Derek's sort of it almost looked like he was going to flip us off for those of you listening at home. He was scratching right between his eyes. Hey, Bob, by the way, Derek's nickname is Tug.
That's not.
Wow.
See, Scott, that is why we don't tell that without giving the background.
So was he caught tugging it in a movie theater?
See? No.
Scott did that on purpose.
His papa gave him the name Tug.
As a baby / toddler, I would sit in his I'd pull on his shirt, you know, as
Okay.
babies do. You know, they grab onto stuff. That's like a reflex.
He doesn't know. He doesn't know why his brothers got their names though, and those are interesting. One is Paco, and one is what was the other one?
Jocko.
Jocko.
Well, okay.
So I asked if the brother named Paco got it from like grabbing on his grandpa's pocket or something.
Yeah. Do you remember there was a TV show or a movie where the guys were in jail?
Yeah,
like Prison Break or something?
No, it's a TV show. It's from this comedian. Did you hear about like Hold My Pocket? It's a thing you do in prison.
Yeah. There was actually a movie that took place in prison where that was the thing. You flip out your pocket and you hold on to
kind of a thing. Yeah, hold on to my pocket. Yeah.
Yes.
That means you're owned by a large individual.
Yes, they're referencing a Tom Segura comedy bit. So if
y'all my pocket.
Yeah. So I'll run through the just since I wasn't on Monday's show, I'll run through the 3 nicknames we had. I've got 2 brothers.
Okay.
So it was Motor Mouth, Monster Face, and Yoda.
Which one were you?
You guys got to guess that. That's the one you guys got to figure out.
For some reason, I feel like your brother that we've had on the show was Motor Mouth.
No, he was Yoda because he's little, like 5 foot or 5'1" or something.
He's probably a little taller than Derek.
Yeah, I think Derek's 4'8", right, Derek?
4'8". That's funny. No, Derek is like 5'7", I think. 5'6"?
Yeah,
5'7".
5'7".
Yeah.
I actually met him in person. He's 6'3", but he just doesn't tell anybody.
No. Cheryl, I said something about because she hears us making fun of Derek, and she goes, "I was surprised how short he is," because they were about the same height. Because she's 5'7".
I think that's the first thing I ever said to Derek in person. Wow, you're a lot shorter than I thought.
Isn't that nice? It's like when somebody meets me and they're, "Man, you're a lot fatter than I thought you were." I was going back through our
Bob!
I was going back through our shows when we were going to have that one where I just kind of we lost the beginning of the show, and I put the thing in there where Danny Black was like, "Scott used to be really, really big," and I was like, "Yeah, I'm bigger now, Danny. Thanks."
Way to make the show awkward, Scott. Thanks.
Look, it is what it is. What am I going to do? Pretend that it's not real?
So I was Monster Face. Just because I was always making goofy faces and all of that stuff. And I was always the funny one. You know, when my parents had a bad day from work or whatever, I was always the one to make them laugh and be goofy and all that stuff. So that's where the nickname came from.
Monster Face. Okay, there you go.
And my face stuck that way, just as my parents said.
They slapped you on the back?
No, it's still stuck that way.
Okay. So there you go. The origin stories of people's nicknames. Today, we are, according to the sheet, you got to stick with the sheet.
No, you don't.
No.
We have not stuck with the sheet a lot.
I know, but it's like a running joke. We always talk about the spreadsheet. We were going to talk about some tech gifts. We are entering the Christmas season, so there might be some tech gifts that we can throw out there. But I think one of the things that we're actually going to concentrate on and talk about is Pico Brew.
So some beer tech gifts.
And Pico Still. Because Derek's interested in this Pico Still. I could see you getting into that for real. We'll explain those in a minute. But let me just... I had a list, and I'm going to pull up some of these, and I want to hear if you guys would even be interested in these as gifts, okay? I went to PCMag.com. When I just typed in... Look, when we're Googling stuff, I just Googled tech gifts. And this is one of the first ones that came up. So I'm going to read some of these, and you guys tell me if you would be even slightly interested in this as a tech gift. Are you ready?
Sure.
Ready.
The first one they have on their list is Kindle Paperwhite.
Nope.
Sounds like a bad, rough toilet paper.
It's like the base version of their e-reader. So it's not even the color one. It's like a black and white. It's basically like reading a book, but you have to pay $120 for it.
Yeah, I've seen it. Those have been around for a while. I've seen the first generations of them and all that stuff, but then they went to the colored ones, which were miniature tablets, and I bought my wife one of those at one point.
Yeah.
And then she stopped using it. It sits in a drawer. So
There you go.
You have to be into reading.
Yeah,
right?
if you're not a huge reader, not a good purchase. But if you have an iPad, you can do the same thing. You can just use your Kindle app.
Exactly.
On it. So it's like, why do I need a Paperwhite? Okay. The next thing is called Tile Pro. And what Tile Pro is like this little tiny thing. And it's basically like a Bluetooth tracking device. So you can attach it to things, and if you lose things a lot, like your keys or something, you can just go on your phone and find where the thing is. Interested?
Nope.
Is it $19.99?
It is $35.
No. So if it was $19.99, and if I bought one now, I'd get a second. Oh wait, a third free. But then I'd pay postage and handling, shipping and handling. I'd be okay with it.
The thing that I have seen people use them for is drones. If you don't have a thing on your drone that'll locate it if you lose it,
right?
They attach one of these to it.
Well, the cool thing is now, like with the Mavic Pro, the Phantom 4, all the DJI stuff, they've all got basically like Find My iPhone on there for your drone.
Yep.
So that's a cool feature that they have. So yeah, definitely wouldn't need it for the drone.
Okay, so here's one that I was kind of like, back in the day, maybe I would have liked this, but now I'm like, what do I need this for? Logitech Harmony Elite. So it's a TV remote, but it's like a remote that you can program everything that you own into. So if you have more than one remote control for your TV and stuff, you can put everything into this and just control everything.
Seems like a lot of work.
And it's $262.55.
I'd rather
like a lot of money.
I'd rather have 4 remotes.
There you go. For that price, 4 remotes. Okay, this one I don't even know if I'm saying this right, and I said it to you guys and you're like, "What?" DOS Keyboard X40 Pro. It's like a gaming keyboard.
No.
Nope.
Yeah, neither of you guys are big PC gamers, neither am I. Okay, Nest Cam Outdoor. So it's like a, security camera for outside.
I don't know. I'm not.
$180, by the way.
I guess if I was in a different neighborhood where it was more of a concern for me.
Yeah.
But really.
Okay, this is the one that I think Bob is actually going to want. You ready?
Sure.
GoPro Hero 6.
$499.
Yep, $499.
Yeah, I saw that on my list as well. It's on right here on this little sheet, and they're awesome. But I mean, $500 is a lot of money.
It is
for a camera,
but you'd use it.
I probably would, but I do have a DSLR, so for future things that I do want to record soon, I'd rather just use that and get a Rode microphone to go on top of the camera, because from what I hear, the audio on the GoPros aren't very good, and
you have to get I have a Rode mic for my GoPro. So.
Yeah.
All right, so here's one. I'm just going to go ahead and, instead of saying the Google one, just any VR headset. Anybody into that?
Nope.
To me, it's like the fad that happened with 3D TVs.
Yeah.
And this happens with the VR stuff every 10, 15 years. To me, I'm not interested in it, but I just see this trend over and over again, how people think it's cool for a little while and it'll go away. So no interest with me.
Yeah. So, last thing on the list, and I'm not even going to say like a certain brand name or anything, but just a drone. They have a mini drone on here, which I think is semi-useless. And the only person on this show who doesn't have a drone at the moment is Derek.
Yeah, I'm not interested in drones.
I thought you sort of got interested when we were talking about it because of Top Gun.
It was so fleeting.
A fleeting moment of interest?
Yeah.
All right. So, all right, here's what we're going to do. We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to talk about Pico. They've got a couple of different things, and we'll explain all of that to you in a moment. But if you are someone who enjoys adult beverages and would like to toy with the process of making your own adult beverages, Pico might be exactly what you're looking for. We'll be right back. Fast, simple, and affordable. That's what registering your domain name with GoDaddy will be. Fast, simple, affordable. And if you listen to this show, Hey, We're Talking, you know you're getting a discount, 30% off, if you go to trygodaddy.com/HWT. Again, 30% off All you have to do is go to trygodaddy.com/HWT for 30% off your domain name and other business services provided by GoDaddy. Hey everybody, it's Scott from Hey We're Talking. You've heard us talk about Gamefly.com before. The basics are this. They've got over 8,000 titles for every gaming platform you can think of, and they're giving you a 30-day free trial. That's right, 30-day free trial for you, the listeners of Hey We're Talking. You want to play video games? You want to be a champ at video games? Go to gameflyoffer.com/HWT. That's gameflyoffer.com/HWT for your 30-day free trial. Hey everybody, welcome back. We're talking gifts, tech gifts. And usually when we're talking about tech gifts, we're talking about gifts for the man in your life. Or you. Let's be real. If you're listening to this show, most likely you could be a male that's interested in tech. So we're going to talk about
exactly.
We talked about some gifts, and I just kind of went through a list that I found online. But we're going to talk today about Pico Brew. And they've got a couple of different things that I think people would be interested in. If you don't know what Pico Brew is, I'll give you a quick overview, and then Bob's going to tell you a little bit about the Pico C. It's just basically an at-home brewing system. They make it, instead of, there's a lot of people who do home brew who get all these buckets and they have to boil stuff and do all this different stuff. Pico kind of takes care of the process. So Bob, tell us a little bit about Pico C if you got it there for the listeners.
Yeah, I do, and I'm trying to learn it as we go along here because we've talked about it before, the three of us off the show, and we've kind of looked at it, but actually getting into the processes and digging into it, there's a lot of information on their website. So their website is picobrew.com. Like I said, I'm looking at Pico Model C, which is their basic thing. And with this, think of a Keurig machine for beer. I mean, that's essentially what it is. So you've got a container that you fill with the hops or whatever you're brewing your beer with. You place it inside this machine, and you literally, your machine's filled with water. You literally hit a button, and the whole process starts. And once it's done brewing, it actually moves it from the brewing device into a fermenter. It's basically a canister off to the side.
Yep.
And now you let it sit for X amount of days, depending.
It's ready to go. Yeah, the Pico C too. The thing that they sell these packets, and it has everything in it. So instead of having to add things at certain times, they've got a bunch of recipes and stuff, and they have pre-made packs that you get all this stuff in. Now you can also do other things, like you can experiment and try different things. But they have like a whole community of people who make these things, and then they've gone to some microbrews out there and gotten their recipes, and you can use that actual recipe that they have already made for you. So I think they're called Pico Packs or something like that. Let me make sure what it's called.
It's very interesting. I mean, it's a cool looking machine. Mm-hmm. And I mean, it looks like it could be a cool device. I'd really love to try it and try some of the product that comes out of it, because if it does brew a decent beer, is it worth the $549?
I mean, if you like beer a lot, I would assume that, because I think if I remember correctly, the Pico packs end up being like $29.95, and it'll make, for some reason I'm thinking it's like a quarter barrel of beer, or maybe an eighth of a barrel. So, it's basically like goes into this little mini keg, and then you chill it, obviously, and then you serve it. It looks like cool. It looks like what the whole process is the water seems to be in this fermenter, and as you start the process, the water pulls out, goes through the machine, in and through the grain and the malt and the barley or whatever you have in there, and then eventually transfers back to the fermenter, the little keg on the side. And so as this process is going in a circle, eventually, once it's done, all of that winds up being beer. Yep.
So it's pretty neat, but me personally, I wouldn't spend the $549 on it. But if Pico Brew does listen to this show and they want to send me one to test and review, I'd be glad to.
Yeah, exactly. But I know that there's probably going to be some people out there who actually have used this, and they're going to be like, they don't know what they're talking about. Well, we don't have a Pico Brew. We're just looking at what they say, and we're talking about how we think it looks pretty cool and it would be fun to try. So if you are an expert in pico brewing, contact us.
Or brewing in general.
Yeah, we know some people that homebrew. We could talk about it for sure.
I think it's the people who are home brewers, and I think I've read about this a little bit on different forums and things like that. You know, you're spending a lot of money for them to streamline this process, which is not super difficult for home brewers to do in the beginning, to begin with. So it's like you're spending a lot of money, and you could do it yourself anyway and save a whole bunch of money anyway.
Yeah, and it says here that the batch size for the beer is 1.3 gallons per batch.
See, that's pretty small for...
It is. And the average brew cycle is 2 hours and 20 minutes.
Yeah, I think that's probably before it ferments and everything, right? Because it's going to take longer than that.
Should. Yeah. That's the brew cycle.
Yeah.
So you're spending a lot of money for a smaller batch size. So for some people, that may not be worth it. But if you're just looking to get started, if you're just trying to get into the hobby and maybe you have not a lot of space, not a lot of expertise, you know, this might be a good starting point.
Yeah, and this thing is the Pico C. It's got a pretty small footprint on your kitchen counter, so it's definitely more about convenience than it is about like, hey, I want to become a home brewer. This is like, hey, I want to have the effect of making my own beer at home without all the work that would go into it, because this takes care of it. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I see, 2 hours and 20 minutes or whatever we said it was to brew a batch of beer.
Yeah.
I've got some buddies that do brew beer, and it's a whole day process. Yes. Like it's an all day process, because you got to get the mash, you got to do this, you got to do that, you got to make sure things are right. So you've got to prepare your yeast ahead of time. So there's a lot more that goes into brewing at home than this would, than you would with this. And the cool thing that they have, I guess, would be, you can buy extra kegs, so you can brew a couple batches within a day, and be able to store them and drink all that stuff. But that's one thing I've always wanted to get into, is actually brewing beer. But I know myself, I've got too many hobbies now, and I don't have time for another one. It's something I'd love to do at some point, but I guess this would make it easy for me to do, but it's kind of like a cheating way.
It is a little bit. But again, if you're into it and you just want to like do something really easy rather than all the other stuff that you'd have to go through, it would be kind of fun.
If you want to be the hippest hipster in your neighborhood, this would allow you to get one. Get one, you'll be that.
Yes. So the other thing that they have that a lot of people got excited about, and this is the one that piqued Derek's interest, was the Pico Still.
Yeah.
And this, when they first came out with it, if I remember correctly, they marketed it a little different than it being something to make alcohol with. They used it they said it was to do like essential oils and stuff like that, which is funny, because I think technically, Derek, you might be able to know, because you're agreeing with me. Is it not technically legal to do this?
Yeah. Distilling spirits, according to federal law, is illegal in the home unless you have like some sort of federal permit.
Yeah.
So this device, if you were to buy it, which, if we're on picobrew.com and we're looking at the Pico Still, you're wanting to buy this thing for, distilling spirits at your house for drinking, then that would be illegal. But yes, you can also make distilled water and distilled oils and things like that. So, which is how they get around the marketing of that.
Yeah,
now,
because what they have on here is it's designed to fit perfectly. It's still you could distill hops, herbs, spices, grains. So they're trying to gear that towards, hey, this could be used for beer or something else, but So they're not marketing directly. Hey, this is going to be a still to brew whiskey or something else.
The thing is, they changed the wording a little bit because it does say at the top, elevates craft brewing for professional distillers and homebrewers alike, but then it also says distill pilot batches of spirits, which I don't think they used to say that. So pilot batches would make me believe they're saying, oh, if you just want to sort of make a little, bit of something, you can. I don't know. But I remember when they first came out with this, people were like, they couldn't say that it was specifically for distilling spirits. So, yeah. But if you want to get into that, even though it says that it's not technically for that, that's what you could do with it. So you could make your own spirits.
It's kind of a wink thing.
Yeah.
And then at the very bottom of your page, it says, for brewers and licensed craft distillers.
There you go.
Hops and citrus oils level up your brews. That's how it's actually written.
Yeah.
But so they're trying to say, hey, this isn't for distilling any whiskey or anything like that, but hey, it's here and you can add it on and buy a combo with the Pico C for $6.79.
Yeah. The only thing I would say is it's not available yet. It's not until February of 2018. So if you decided you were going to get this for somebody for Christmas, they're not going to get it until February.
I actually think this is neat. It's a very small, portable kind of still.
Mm-hmm.
I think it only has the 5 liter capacity for your mashed liquid that you're going to be distilling.
I didn't see what it was, to be honest with you.
Look like that. So it is still kind of a small batch thing. So you'd have to, typically, if you're someone who's ever distilled before, you're going to be you're going to create your mash in like a 5-gallon kind of bucket thing, and then try to distill that. So you're looking at multiple spirit runs in this thing.
Yeah, it is a 5 liter. You're correct.
So you'd be looking at like 4. If you're going to make a 5-gallon batch, you're going to have to distill that 4 different times to get through your whole 5 gallons.
Interesting.
Yep. There you go.
Which may be worth it because you might get yourself a full, gallon of spirits out of that. Maybe a little bit less.
Look at that.
About a gallon.
You can have a gallon of your own spirits. Woo!
Which may be worth it.
Just don't drink it all in one sitting.
No.
A gallon of spirits. Or you're going to go visit Derek in the emergency room.
Yep.
And the next day, you will not be a happy camper. You'll feel terrible.
Oh, later that night, you'll feel terrible.
Could you drink a gallon of spirits, Derek, and not die?
Depends on your tolerance.
Yeah, like at what point does alcohol poisoning occur?
Yeah, tell us. You've got the inside scoop. Tell us about it.
It's different for everybody. I've seen some super high blood alcohol levels in people that would kill a lot of people, but for some it's
somehow
just
they lived.
Yep.
Michael Anthony would drink a whole 5th of Jack Daniels at every Van Halen concert. How do you do that?
He was used to it.
So 0.08 is the legal limit in Illinois to drive.
Mm-hmm.
When are you really drunk?
I have a CDL, so my limit is actually 0.04.
Oh my gosh!
Yes, which is ridiculous.
That's like half of a beer, isn't it?
It's like less than a beer an hour, which is just crazy. But Derek, so 0.08 is that legal limit. What's the highest you think you've seen?
Like 0.45.
Oh my gosh!
Wow.
Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh! So does that mean like half of their body is alcohol at that point? What does that mean? Help me understand that.
No, it means the blood alcohol concentration is 0.08%.
This got too deep already.
So you're looking at like
a half a percent of their body is alcohol at 0.45.
Yeah, of their blood.
Right.
Their blood alcohol. Yeah.
Wow. Oh my gosh, blood! Oh, blood!
I don't know. I think we're.
Derek, do you like blood?
I mean, it's an important Fluid.
I like
That's
to
a
just
very
throw-
safe answer.
I like
like
to
it.
throw things out there every once in a while just to see how Derek will answer them.
I mean, are you asking? Am I disgusted at the sight of blood?
Well,
in the-
obviously you're not because you're a nurse. If you were, you couldn't have a job anymore.
In the ER.
Yeah. So I knew
Yeah.
that one, Derek. Jeez. This seems
So
like
what
the
did-
perfect time to stop this broadcast because you're getting too deep. All I wanted to know
Yeah.
is if you like blood or not.
Yeah,
Sure.
come on, Derek.
You're
Yeah.
opining
Vampire
about
boy.
blood.
Yeah, I'm a fan.
Okay, good. All right, guys. Thanks for listening. We appreciate you listening. We appreciate those of you who like blood. I mean, all of us like blood because it helps us live. But, you know how it goes.
Hey, you vampires out there, thank you for listening. We're talking.
May the awesome be with you and with those who love blood. Amen.